This is Friday night sermon for May 31st, 2019, and the title is the Tochachah, a warning. This week's Torah portion is Bechukotai, and it contains the Tochacha, or warning or admonition. In this discussion, Hashem tells the Israelites that if they do the commandments and what they're supposed to do according to the word of Hashem, things will be good. If they don't, there will be consequences. As usual, the consequences outweigh the rewards. The admonition, or Tochacha, contains 3 levels of 7 warnings. Each of them is progressively worse, and this is to give the Israelites the opportunity to return to Hashem and the commandments, which has made our people strong, once they see the consequences of turning away. Now, the prophecy, it seems unfortunately, turned out to be true. Our ancestors abandoned our principles, and as a result, we were conquered and forced to live in exile for the last 1800 years. We were thrust among those that did not only not believe as we did, but in many cases forced us, or tried to force us, to adopt their beliefs. During that time, we nevertheless clung to our beliefs and survived. And this is what the prophecy declared. If we look back at the last 1800 years as we struggled among strangers, many of our ancestors clung to our beliefs and religion. Wherever we went, we set up schools and synagogues and continued, as much as we could, to live our culture. We persisted even when death at the hands of foreign governments threatened our lives. As a result, we now have our land back. In many ways, we are thriving. We've created an oasis in the desert. Many entrepreneurs have started thriving businesses. In fact, if you look at the NASDAQ and the number of companies that foreign countries have, Israel tops them all. We are a democracy as well in an area that sees almost exclusively repressive regimes. But our civil rights and respect for individual life speaks for itself. Israel is thriving. There are more startup businesses, again, than just about any other country in the world. As the portion declared, 5 of us will pursue 20, and 20 will fend off 1,000, and so it is. Israel, our land and heritage, has survived and overcome our enemies. We have persisted and thrived, and in fact, many of those enemies are now looking to engage with us in commerce and defense. Such is the result of practicing our faith in the face of dire circumstances. However, in our country, in the United States, and much of Europe, we're oppressed and persecuted. Many of our fellow Jews are beaten, and synagogues are attacked. Attempts by those in our government to declare this to be unacceptable are overturned by those who seek to diminish our struggle and put other issues involved that draw attention away from our plight. Consider that this has happened as synagogue attendance and membership has hit a low. Yes, according to recent polls, only 30% of Jews belong to or are involved in their local synagogues. Whereas many areas were once thriving with a Jewish population, now many of them are desolate. Coincidence? Depends on how much credence you give our Torah. If you regard it as mere history, literature, or a fairy tale, then there's not much of a resolution. But if you study Torah and look at the times that we have strayed from Hashem's teachings, it becomes very interesting. During times when people either ignored Torah or saw it as trivia, we have survived. We have suffered, rather. When we favored our customs and culture of our host countries and tried to blend, there in fact was a pushback. You would be hard-pressed to explain the connection as anything but divine providence. The Tochacha says this. This is our first warning, and we need to change. The synagogue is the center of our community in the diaspora. It keeps us together, strength in numbers. When we live our culture, we take pride in it and who we are. We are proud. We feel confident and strong, and this attitude pervades into the perceptions of other people. When we feel part of our 3,500 year, that's right, 3,500 year tradition, it gives us a confidence and a faith. Others see it. They see that we're strong, and we will not tolerate oppression. Now, this is not a call to arms. It is anything but. When we connect with Hashem, Hashem will connect with us. Of course, it won't be perfect, but as history and as the Torah has showed us, it will be better. So let's all make a commitment to express who we are. God will be pleased.